Hey everyone, my name is Eric, or Astroflee, and this is my 1946 Ercoupe 415C airplane. I got it about a year and a half ago. Spent about 9 months getting work done to it, improving it, upgrading it, modernizing it a bit, and really only got a hold of it a few months ago. And I haven't done a ton of flying in it yet, or at least solo, I should say. And what you might notice about me specifically is I'm in a wheelchair. And that provides an interesting thing. I got my pilot's license back when I was younger and had it for a few years. Haven't really done much with it for about a decade, and then got back into flying a few years ago. And the thing that is difficult about being a pilot with a disability is finding airplanes you can fly, and also finding airplanes you can fly with as minimum adaptations as possible. And so that is what is great about the Ercoupe airplane. So this is a design that is what 80 years old now, and it was an ingenious one that for some reason hasn't really caught on since then. So, what is great about the Ercoupe? You don't need hand controls to fly it, which is unique to pretty much every airplane out there, or at least ones that are in the certified category and not the experimental. So, the Ercoupe is amazing because the rudders, which are usually tied in to foot pedals in the airplane, are actually connected directly to the ailerons on the airplane. So you only use the yoke to fly. It changes from 3-axis control to 2-axis control. So that means no foot pedals. And that means you can fly it purely with your hands. So since the rudders are tied into the ailerons, that means when it turns, it stays coordinated. The ailerons are tied into the rudders, and so you're flying straight. When you turn, it is a coordinated turn. So it maintains that, making it, at least what it was called at the time when it first came out, the safest airplane ever built, because it is very simple and easy to fly, which is why I got it and I love it. And it's got a great classic look to it. It is basically like the slowest warbird type plane out there, even though it's not a warbird, same era, just after World War II. And it's just a really exciting plane to fly. The canopy slides open, so you can fly it with the top down, basically like a convertible, and low and slow all around. And it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to getting more and more airtime in it, both solo and with friends. And of course, I'm working on getting some video stuff together to record that and all of that. But here's the fun thing. I need to figure out how to best get in and out of the airplane myself without any help. I've flown with friends and my instructor, and either it's a case of leaving the wheelchair behind or having them throw it in the back. And so I need to figure out how to do that myself to get independent, because, I'm not always going to have someone to fly with, and it's a great day outside, and I would really love to be able to do it by myself. I have a plan. I've got some moving blankets that I'm going to put on the wing just to protect it, because this is a fabric wing, at least from here down. And I'm going to hop on the wing. I'm going to take my chair apart and put the pieces of it on the wing on the moving mat. And then from there, I'm going to put the pieces in the cabin or in the cockpit, one at a time. Hopefully, frame first, and then the wheels, cushion, and side guards separated out, and we'll see how that goes. I know it fits in there, but I've never done it myself, so it'll be an adventure for all of us. Also, it's pretty warm in here. I'm not sure if I'm going to pop open the hangar door or not, because one of the fun things about aviation is everyone is so nice and so helpful which can be a double-edged sword, because if I'm in here for the next hour or two struggling to get in and out of the airplane, it's not necessarily a time you want guests or people trying to help when you're trying to figure it out. So depending on how warm it gets, I've got the fan on, I've got some water, might just hang out with the door closed, but it's also a really nice day out, so having some sunlight probably wouldn't hurt. So yeah, let's dive into it. All right, everyone. So here you have this is the other side of the Ercoupe. Welcome around. And I've already got the moving mat like haphazardly laid out. So what I'm going to do first is jump up here and open up the canopy, make sure things are set up appropriately. I guess I'd let you guys watch that part. Don't judge how sweaty I am, because it is warm in here, and I don't know, burning calories or something. All right, so getting up here is a bit of a balancing act. Reaching across here, getting the top canopy open, assuming I have a good grasp of it. All right, just a little bit stuck. Nothing to worry about. Jump across here, and this side open too, just so I don't damage anything. Okay. Got the cover in here. Got some cushions. I've got a bunch of stuff. Looks like there's enough room to do things. Let's see. All the switches are off. Cool. I will say that, figuring this out will be different for everyone, right? Like, the way I'm doing it will be wildly different than someone who is paralyzed, which will be wildly different than someone who is an amputee of some sort, which is, of course, wildly different to anyone who doesn't use a wheelchair. I think one thing I'm going to focus on first is just taking the chair apart and getting it onto the plane wing, maybe a couple times, and then, kind of figuring it out from there. So what I'm going to do is kind of proceed like I usually do when I put it in my car. So take the wheels off first. And apologies if I bump the microphone a bunch. It's probably going to happen. Cool. So that's a little bit far away. That's good to know. Slide it closer here. What I'm going to do is just put a wheel here as gently as possible. Put another wheel here as gently as possible. Sit as gently as possible. Okay. And then what I'm actually going to do is take the side guards off. And I don't know which of these parts is necessary versus not yet. I also don't know how well this will all fit on one thing, but we'll see. Okay. So we've got the wheels, the cushion, side guards on the plane. So now comes the fun part of getting the frame up here. So what I'm definitely going to do is work to make sure I'm pretty firmly situated up here, because I don't want to fall. And then also try to not put too much weight on the part of the wing beyond basically where I am right now. Because where I'm at now is a metal part, and then beyond it, basically where the wheels are, is canvas or fabric. So I want to make sure I'm not damaging anything. So from here, I'm going to take it up, and then here's where we might enter some Tetris skills being needed. I also want to be careful not to damage the airplane, because again, it's 80 years old. So what I'm going to do here is kind of turn it sideways, and then once it gets past the pivot point, I'm just going to kind of just guide it down to where it wants to go. So So right there might be good. Then I'm gonna climb up here, make sure I haven't broken anything too bad. And from here I have two options. I have putting it in the trunk, which is what I do when someone's with me, or putting it in the passenger seat. And so what I might do for this round is just put it in the passenger seat and see how that looks. So I'll slide it down here, and I'll also say, like, this plane is not in immaculate condition. It is very usable. It's in very workable condition, but not a show plane. And so it's also something to consider, like how involved you want to be with getting the chair in and out, with like how comfortable you are with it bouncing around everything. Like, you know, the upholstery in here is kind of taking a beating, which I can show you. And so this is certainly not going to help that. All right, you can't quite see, but it's a little bit bulky in this seat. That's going to be difficult for it to exist in the passenger seat. Let me see if I can maneuver it around a little bit. It's kind of fixed in here. And I also want to avoid like getting it wedged in, because then I won't be able to get it out. I'll be stuck here in my hangar with, you know, whatever kind of situation I've got going on. Okay, so I don't think passenger seat is necessarily going to work out. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to flip down the back of the seat with its little bar that's back here. This is also good to test way before like you're going to go on a trip of some sort, because you really want to know how all of this stuff is going to work ahead of time and not really be figuring this out on the fly in some place where you're not familiar, and you know, a place where you might not be able to find help. Don't necessarily be able to find easy help here, but that's, you know, aside from the point. You know, don't do everything I do, kids. All right, there it is. Finally flip that down. Okay, so I got the frame pretty much down as small as it'll go. This chair does not fold, but the back does flip down, so that's a good thing. Now what I want to do is lift it up out of the place. Remember I said I didn't want to get it wedged? Well, I think I already got it wedged. All right. See if I can get a good grip under here. I'm trying to narrate it because you can't really quite see what I'm doing here. That's fine. Lift it up. I'm going to pivot it around, hopefully. Pivot. Okay. I'm going to try to just rotate it around to get the casters over the back of the seat. Get this cord stuff around it, and then just kind of lift in there. I have to flip down the handles. Not a big deal. And just rotate it in here. I'm also trying to avoid taking up too much space, or also like making it so this thing's going to bounce around. They've got it in a nice wedged in position there. It's actually kind of good. And what I'll do now is see if I can throw the wheels in. I go from like biggest piece to smallest piece, because I think that's probably the easiest logically to make happen. So I'll get these in. These are 25-inch wheels for anyone keeping tabs. And another thing I'm trying to do, so I'm trying to do it so like the push rims aren't up. So like the metal push rims are not like vibrating against the glass windows or against the side panels or anything like that. Interesting. Window's kind of warped right here. Not an issue I'm aware of. What I'll do is I'll flip this one around again with the push rims not up. I'll just kind of set that in there. Okay. As it is right now, it's not a great angle for them, for the wheels. So I'm gonna do some workarounds here. I'm gonna take the wheels out. Take the wheels out of the cargo area here. And one of the things in the way right now is actually the cover to the airplane that goes on top of the canopy when I'm parking outside. So I'll move that right now. And from here, I'm just going to kind of see if I can rotate the chair around. Because the biggest thing is the wheels are a bit bigger than the last set of wheels I had here. I think the last set of wheels I had here are 24s. So not significantly bigger, right? But like every inch matters. Okay. I'm going to rotate this around here. Hopefully it'll fit. Hopefully I'm not dripping too much sweat everywhere. Set it down. Okay. Be careful. So the ELT is here. I want to be very careful not to mess with that. So I'm going to tip the chair on its side. Again, this is all just trial and error, experimentation. Ooh, it fits in very nicely that way. Actually, should have done that from the beginning. Tipped it on its side, and so like the L shape of the frame is actually kind of following the cargo area. So now I will put the wheels in again. Oh, it's beautiful. And one more wheel. And I'm going to try to flip it so the push rims are not a threat to walls or to the ceiling or anything like that, the roof. Beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to put cushion in, although like if needed you could also like sit on the cushion. That would be sufficient. I'm going to leave this bag out for now because there is room to put it in, but since I'm going to be taking this in and out, I don't want to do that. Also, side guards, trivial at this point to fit in, but it's good. Okay, you all cannot see what I see, but the fact that it all fits and I got it in here is great. Another thing I'm going to be doing is like also I'll take this mat and put it in here with it. It's all in there. Now I need to just reverse the process, okay? So what I'm going to do is pull out the cushion, the wheels, get the frame out, put the chair back together. Great day for flying. Pretty bad day to be sitting in an enclosed hangar, but again, privacy is probably for the best, given this little project that we've got going on. Okay, so I've got a wheel out. Again, taking heed to be careful on the airplane wing. Set that down. Second wheel out. Set this down. Then here's going to be the interesting part. It's like getting the frame out, but then also getting it to a position where I can get it from, in the plane, outside the plane to on the wing. So it's kind of a multi-step thing I'm figuring out here. So I'm going to rotate it back up to how it was. So like casters down. I'm going to flip it up here. And then I wonder if casters out would be easier. I don't think casters first is very viable just from the angle. If anybody has any suggestions at home, also open to that, because, I'm figuring this out. Some of you might be smarter and more experienced than I am and have already figured this stuff out. I'm just wasting time. Okay. All right. Do that. And I'll take this, flip it down. Let's grab hold of the side of the plane, kind of wiggle down. Yeah, nothing too fast here. I don't want to risk damaging the airplane first, me second, or the wheelchair third. So eventually it's going to take me with its weight. So I got to be careful of that. So got a hold of the wing. Once I touch down casters, we're good. I'm going to lift the seat back up. There we go. Excellent. We have a wheelchair-shaped object, which you love to see. I'm going to take this guy here, set it down, trying not to fall, and this guy as well. And I'm gonna hop down here. Looks like the side guard wants to fall, so I'm just gonna help it out on its own. All right, we've got the chair here. I'm gonna again reverse the process. So I've got one wheel in, two wheels in, and everything from here is money. Okay, so don't have a cushion on it yet, but I'm gonna reach here and grab it. My hangar's dirty. There's like hangar dust or whatever you want to call it on everything. And bam. Okay. Functioning wheelchair. Okay. That didn't take too long. Quicker than I thought, actually. And first try for the most part. I'm looking forward to producing more videos, more content, more aviation stuff. And, this is going to be part of it. And looking forward to you joining the journey. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you would want to see. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hit that like and subscribe because this is the first one of these I've done. And TBD if it's enjoyable. But, if not, I'll just keep making it for myself. So at least I have these as a little documentary and a little diary on the things I've done up until then on my flying career.